This video is now in session, and it's another redistricting video. Today, I'm going to be talking about New Mexico, Nevada, and Indiana. If I'm able to fit another state into this video, then I'll most likely talk about Tennessee. So let's start with this. Let's start with New Mexico. New Mexico currently has 2 Democrats and 1 Republican. That said, I'm saying that as of when I'm recording this video, if by the time I publish, Deb Haaland vacates this seat to be part of the to be the Secretary of the Interior, then that means this seat will have been vacant. So I'm going to just assume that the seat is vacant, even though right now Deb Haaland is still the representative from New Mexico's 1st Congressional District. So let's talk about New Mexico first. Democrats have an ability to actually gerrymander this map to be in favor towards them, to get 3 congressional districts instead of just 2 that they currently have. Where is New Mexico? Yeah, New Mexico has 2 and 1. That said, it can change even more for Democrats to be 3 and 0. How this would happen is they would split Albuquerque into 3 separate districts. Now, Albuquerque is the core of the Democratic Party in New Mexico, so by splitting it, it actually helps them instead of the Republicans, because Albuquerque is so big that even if it splits into 3, it can still take the majority in each district. So if we have this kind of map here, then all 3 congressional districts would have voted for Biden by at least 10%. And as a result, all 3 districts would most likely go for Democrats. So I have to actually edit this so that it would be 3 and 0. Now, in 2018, between 2018 and 2020, this district was actually represented by a Democrat, New Mexico's 2nd district. And as you can see right here, Democrats have a 13.4% chance of representing this district. So it's not that small, but it's also not really big. That said, in a gerrymander scenario for 538, they would give Democrats a 23.1% chance here. That said, if we did Dave Wasserman's map, then all of these congressional districts would have near the same amount of chance for Democrats, which would probably be around 65% chance, maybe 70% chance. So that would be the first flip for Democrats that we've done so far, and I'm going to just keep this as blue because it will most likely get represented by a Democrat in a special election, which I believe will be held in April. I know that both of Louisiana's elections are going to be held on March 20th, so that's just something to note. Nevada is the next state, and for Nevada, I believe Democrats control the entire process. It's one of the Democratic trifecta states besides New Mexico, where Democrats have the trifecta, and as well as not an independent or politician commission. So for Nevada, what could Democrats do here? Well, Nevada, they could actually gerrymander this map even further. That's what the gerrymandered map would look like, but this is what the map currently looks like, where Democrats have 1 safe seat and Republicans have 1 safe seat. Here, Democrats have a 38% chance of representing there and a 68% chance of representing there. That said, Democrats control both seats. This one, where they only have a 38% chance, they control this seat right now, and that is thanks to Susie Lee, who was able to win Nevada's 3rd district in 2020 and I believe in 2018 by a margin of 48.8%. So that was a 3% lead against Dan Rodmer. That said, for Nevada, Democrats could gerrymander this map even more. That said, I don't know if that's going to be advantageous to them. At least that may be stabbing their one of their current representatives. I think Stephen Horsford, I think, would be stabbed by this, because Susie Lee Susie Lee actually could also be stabbed if she doesn't live in this area. If she doesn't live in this area, then she'll be put in a Republican district. And then for Stephen Horsford, I think if he lives anywhere in this area or in this area, then it's not going to be good for him, unless if he lives in this tiny area. Yeah, it's just not it's not convenient for Democrats because they would be stabbing their representatives. That said, all three districts would be safe for them. Meanwhile, there would be one safe Republican district where currently Democrats have a 10.7% chance of winning that. Instead, it will be a 2% chance of winning that district. So for this one, I would not change it. I would not change anything. I doubt Democrats are going to change the map, so I'm going to just keep it as dark blue, which means that nothing's changing. Light blue means that there's at least one new Democratic seat, and then same goes for the red. And then for the gray, that means that there's a split number of seats shared between Republicans and Democrats. If it's dark gray, that means it's just happening. Actually, no. If it means dark gray, then that means it has happened, and if it's currently happening, and then if it's light gray, that means it's going to happen because of redistricting. So that's Nevada. Now let's go over to Indiana. Indiana is going to be the interesting one. Here we could see a Democratic seat that would be lost because of redistricting, and that is Frank Mervin's seat. He is a freshman representative. That said, in 2022, he may be screwed because what Republicans can do is gerrymander the seat so that the city of Gary would be mixed with a completely Republican rural area that would outnumber the residents in Gary. Here currently we have it so the map has it so that it would be Gary plus the suburbs of Gary. That said, the suburbs of Gary would go with South Bend and the rural area of Indiana, which would also be Republican. I think there's an opportunity for Republicans to gerrymander even more so that every single seat could go for Republicans. Yeah, it would look like this. So pretty much every single seat would go for Republicans. This is what it currently looks like, with the 7th district also going for Democrats. That said, here this would go to right here, which would be a 5.6% chance, and then a 6.5% chance, and a 7.2% chance right there. And how this happens is because Indiana is split into 3 different congressional districts, Indianapolis, and this is a Democratic city. That said, if you split it into 3 different parts, that's not going to be enough for each district to go Democratic, and instead it would stay Republican. So this is what Republicans can do. Give themselves 9 seats, so that would be a net gain of 2 seats. And let me see if that is already accounted for in my gerrymandering. Indiana, yep, that's already accounted, and it's not like that Republicans are going to lose congressional districts here, because based on the census, Indiana won't be losing or gaining congressional districts. So that's a net gain of 2, and you can see that I think it is tied now. Of course, there are 3 vacant seats here, but if we added these all together, then that would mean 218 for Republicans and 217 for Democrats, which means that Republicans have already won just by gerrymandering. And realize that a lot of these states that I haven't talked about have already been very gerrymandered for Republicans, so Democrats have to do a lot of work in 2022 if they want to retain the House. And that's most likely why Nancy Pelosi won't be running for re-election or won't be running for another term as Speaker, mainly because she knows that 2022 is not going to be a good year for Democrats. So since we haven't hit the 10-minute mark yet, let's go to Tennessee and examine that a little bit. Also, I just realized I have to make this and that. So for Tennessee, it has 11 electoral votes, but I believe 9 congressional districts. What could be done is to have every actually no, it has 8 congressional districts. So what could be done is have every single congressional district go for Republicans, just like Indiana. Every single seat. Now, currently, Currently 538 has a Republican gerrymander that would give Democrats 1 seat. That said, if we go with what Dave Wasserman is doing, that would mean that every single congressional district would go for Republicans. That said, this could be challenged by Democrats in the courts, saying that removing the 9th congressional district and making that not account for, I guess, the racial minorities in this district, then I think Democrats would be able to win that case. Because another thing that has to be said is that you should have congressional districts that prioritize a majority racial, a majority ethnic congressional district. So the 9th district counts for this because there are a majority of African Americans in here, and that's a minority. And African Americans in the nation are a minority currently. So as a result, they have to account. Republicans would have to account for this. That said, let's just say that the courts. Go against Democrats' court challenge, and that will most likely happen. Also, this number is wrong, by the way. I know I said I wouldn't expose it, but I accidentally did. That said, it is the wrong number. It's not the right number. Actually, I just realized there are 9 congressional districts, not 8. So, okay, never mind. Democrats will definitely be able to get one, because in my opinion, there is no way to have another congressional district that would go for Republicans. It's gonna be hard to split Memphis and still have 2 Republican congressional districts from that. So that still stays true. And then I would highlight this as that because it's one pickup that's happening in Nashville, in the Nashville area. So there we go. That's the end of this video. Republicans have, I'm going to just shade this in. Oops. Yeah, I'm going to just shade this in, even though all of these seats are vacant. I'm going to just shade it in. And I'm also going to shade this one in. Okay, so Republicans have 219 congressional districts through redistricting, and Democrats have 216. And I'll just, for simplicity, remove that number because it's not the right number. If you literally just add these two numbers up together, it doesn't equal to 435. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This video is now adjourned, and in the next one I'll start to move towards bigger states. So I'm going to do just wait till the next video to find out. And I'll see you in the next one.